Welcome back to another cup of conversation,
where we have conversations worth having.
I'm your girl Coco,
and I'm your girl Tee.
And this week we back with another solo Zolo. Okay,
clock it.
I'm a little cold, y'all, so I'm a little
girl.
My energy.
This girl ain't never got no blood in her body.
Girl, I don't know why I'm so cold.
I feel good.
But this week I wanted to talk about we were never supposed to do this life alone and what we imagined our life being versus what it really is.
Okay.
And so for the first segment of how you feeling and how you dealing, I want to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
What part of your life feels heavier than you expected it to feel?
Off rip, like career. Yeah. If I think about this all the time. I tell myself, if you would have just did what you were supposed to do in college, or if somebody would have, before you went to college, instilled in the fact that know what you want to do, so you wouldn't be straying off in college. Like that whole, I watch a lot of law, so I want to go to school for law.
Right,
I watch a lot of Law and Order, a lot of criminal stuff, so I'm going to go to school for law. And I feel like a lot of girls in my era thought that way. Mm-hmm. I have a couple of friends that went to school for law too and ended up either switching their majors or dropping out or whatever the case may be. Right. So I wish somebody would have drove the point, the importance of knowing what you really want to do.
And doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe probably even taking a break before just jumping into college and like working, trying some things out, because I was one of the people, I didn't work in high school. My mama told me as long as I kept my grades up and if I played a sport, I didn't have to work.
Right.
So my homegirls worked, but that's because they was going home after school every day, not me.
Right.
I'm in a gym.
Right. For me, I would say marriage. Okay. The reason I say that too, it feels heavier than expected is because I didn't know it was going to be such a task. I thought it was going to be what we kind of grow up thinking about, like as far as fairy tale, like, okay, you find somebody, he love you, you love him, y'all live happily ever after.
Right.
Well, that ain't all, and that ain't what, I mean, you do live happily ever after because you are happy, but that is through a lot of work. You got to get to a lot of work, especially when you have two people trying to bring both of their lives together, and then you keeping some, and then you throwing out some, and you deciding on what to keep, what to throw out. All of those things, it's like I didn't expect it to be like a task.
And I'm glad you said marriage, because I had a question that I thought about asking you a couple of days ago, and I was going to ask you, do you think that like all your non-negotiables were put in the forefront, like, and Kayri knew what he was getting into, like in the beginning?
I feel like the ones that I knew of, yes.
Yeah.
But I have new ones now that if I was to ever do it again, I would have a few different non-negotiables. Like I didn't know that going to therapy was a non-negotiable. Okay. Even I did know about, like, people always used to tell us, because we did premarital counseling, but it wasn't in depth enough, and because we already had a premarital problem with our families, that was the focus instead of it being
y'all.
Right. So I definitely had some non-negotiables that I feel like I got and I stuck to and I got, but then there's some that I found out that I should have had that I didn't have.
Okay. I was thinking about that because one of my friends recently like separated from her partner, and she was just saying, I was like putting my piece on the back burner, and I was like I was settling for, and I didn't put those non-negotiables up there. So I was wondering, like, if getting married at an early age, how you did, do people make those boundaries clear, and do like the men know what they stepping into? Do the women know what they stepping into? Are men telling you like, hey, this is what I want out of a wife, like X, Y, and Z?
I think for the most part, with us being so young, we only had non-negotiables that were kind of given to us. Like, you want a wife that cook. Like, I'm speaking level. For the surface level stuff that he might have wanted. You want a wife that know how to cook. You want a wife that, that's not lazy, or just the simple stuff. Not
you want to say a freak in the sheets.
Oh yeah, that too. They tell you that too. And I think, and they tell you that a lot because a lot of times with marriage, they say the sex declines, and I can see why, because it's like
all the other problems.
Yeah, like we got bigger fish to fry.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
So, but yeah, I think everything that we kind of created and we had as non-negotiable were like very surface level or superficial things. Like, you know, and some of them were needed, yeah, you know, but at the same time, it's like I wish we kind of knew, and I can speak for him too, because I heard him express like, damn, I wish I knew all this part came into being a husband. Like, you know, you got to provide, but like even the emotional part, like us having to figure out like, how do you show up and how do you provide beyond money?
Yeah,
as a man?
Beyond money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So let's go, excuse me, let's jump right into the first segment.
Okay.
But before you answer that, before you go into the first segment, answer this question. Do you, just to get a surface level understanding of each other, have you ever looked around and thought, this is not how I pictured it? Whatever it is, often. Okay.
Life as a whole. I guess, like you said, I pictured the fairy tale of it, the goods of it. You don't envision the bad. Like when you thinking about being in a relationship, especially in the beginning, when you think about career, especially in the beginning, like you thinking about, I need money. I want a secure relationship. I want somebody to share things with.
Right.
You're not thinking about, well, if he likes his house like this and I like my house like that, what we gonna do?
Right.
Or if this job treats you a certain way, like I didn't spend all this time in school and this is my dream, and what am I gonna do if I start feeling like this is not gonna work?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And not just per company, the career. Like, of course, people might think that about one company and say, oh, I'm gonna go to the next.
Right.
But what if the career not fitting your lifestyle? Or what if the career isn't what you don't went to school for this, or you didn't trade school, you done learned about it, you spent time trying to gain experience on this, and now you like, dang, this is not really what
I thought it was
gonna be.
Yeah. I feel like from day to day, like the only part I will say is like the marriage part again. Like I didn't expect it to be. This is not what I pictured it.
Why you think you so optimistic about everything else?
Because I feel like I was gonna say this is how I picture my life, kind of, sort of. I figure the only part the two parts that I didn't think that it was gonna be so much work to be married, and I didn't think that it was gonna be so much. It was gonna be hard for me to conceive. For my second, or my next child. I would have thought that I would have at least had like 2 kids by now already. So that part, and even with the marriage though, I can even say it is how I pictured it, because from day to day, on a regular day-to-day thing, if we're not thinking about the work that we gotta do, I feel like it is what I pictured. I figured that I would be with somebody that loved me for real, that, you know, take good care of my kid, like provided for us, and you know, all of those things. That is kind of what I pictured. Yeah. And to be honest, when I was younger, before I didn't even think about. I can wholeheartedly say that this is what I pictured, because even then I didn't think about the emotional part. I thought that was just come natural, like the emotional part for him, or you know what I'm saying? Even for me, sometimes I thought that was just gonna come natural. When you marry somebody, of course you're gonna be this lovey-dovey emotion, all that thing. So even that, I wasn't thinking about that. I was more so thinking about what my life was. I'm gonna get a husband that's gonna be able to take care of me. So that part I picture, and it's basically cutting the past. But for the most part, I think I knew I was going to be some type of, whatever career I was going to do, I was going to make some decent money. I wasn't really worried about a job, because I could have been a stay-at-home mom too.
I never thought about that. Not a stay-at-home anything. Like,
really?
Yeah. No, I didn't see that in my life.
I used to have the white picket fence dreams for a while.
None of the women I knew. So even if I had thoughts about getting married, I still felt like I was going to have a career.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's like a Black community thing, where kind of just how you said about, I didn't think about my body it being hard to conceive, because we see all this happening. Yeah. You
damn near got to hold yourself to not have one.
Exactly. And that's what we was doing at first. Like, I know I used to be like, whoa. I remember the first time a condom ever busted on me. I was in there crying so hard. I was like, Jesus, please, not me.
Right.
Like, please don't let it. I'm talking about crying hard.
Lord, if you get me out of this.
Yes. I'm talking about in that child in a hotel room. I was crying.
Not the hotel.
Oh, we weren't supposed to be. You know, we weren't supposed to be.
Right.
I was about 18, 17. No, I was 16, 17.
Okay.
And I was just like, Lord, please don't let it happen right now. Like,
right.
Did I not know that I was gonna make it to 30 and it's still in here? I didn't think about that. Like, that was not my thought process. So I don't think we think about bad. We need to probably teach the kids to think. Well, no. Because then they'll have like a contingency plan, or what if it don't work, or what if...
Well, I think that we need to, I feel a lot about this across the board. I feel like we have to teach our kids not from a place of, some of it needs to be experienced, but some of it needs to be updated reality. Like, you know how like the iPhone got to be updated all the time?
Yeah.
Like, you got to update. And I think that's the hard part about parenting as well, and being in a relationship, because you have to constantly update to what's the reality. And like for instance, like a lot of women are suffering with what is it called? It's called PMOS now, but it was called PCOS or endometriosis and stuff like that.
PMOS?
They changed the name. PMOS. Okay. Yep. And so a lot of women are suffering from that now, like, or having these unexplained fertility issues, but are having irregular cycles. They grow facial hair, all of these things. And I think it's what contributes to that is like the lifestyles that we have nowadays with the food, the overprocessed food. Because when we think about it back then,
the social media, being able to see so much going on in every part of the
levels
world.
Through the roof. Yeah. And so I think, back in the day, we have McDonald's money.
Yeah.
We you know what I'm saying? We grew up off of, no, we going home to cook. Like, our parents, now we are the parents, and we like, you want Chick-fil-A? Because I want Chick-fil-A. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now I feel like with the new life that we live, I think we need to think about that, because especially as women, we have a time clock for real. Like, we have a point to where we can't get pregnant. Like, men, they can have babies forever, but we can't. So it's not that I wish that we would tell younger girls to like think about it earlier. I just would tell my daughter or other women to know your medical history, take care of your body, and think about those things. Like, make sure you don't have something hereditary like ovarian cancer. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, don't be having no babies early. Don't get married too early. You got to live your life, because what is living your life? Why can't... that's another thing I don't like when people say, don't get married too early because you got to live your life. What if living your life is being married?
Like, And I just heard somebody say that recently about one of my classmates that got divorced because they were married early. Mm-hmm. And they was like, I feel sorry for her because now she's 30 plus and she didn't get to live her life. And I was like, I don't know. I don't feel sorry for her. She has a functioning family. She has children. And to be honest, I knew her in high school. If she didn't get married, she'd probably end up like a hoe.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, like, being an adult, that's too much freedom, You got your own house and shit. This bitch would have been going. She'd have been going.
I think that's what I mean by it. Some things are good for people. That is their life.
Some things need to be done like that in these orders. And now that she's 30 and single, she might do it differently than if she was 20 and single.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. She gonna be careful now.
Yeah.
I think that we just should treat our life as kind of like a software update. Okay, what is it now that we need to learn? Okay, type of thing.
That's good.
So, moving into the main topic, the grief of the life that we imagine. So, people sometimes grieve the lives that they never even really live.
Right.
Like, you grieving like, oh, I never got married. The whole time you would have got married or had kids, and you might not like, grieving the life. So do you think people can even grieve lives that they never lived before?
Yes, if you had an expectation out of something.
Right.
And of course, if it don't go your way, it's a way to grieve it, but it's not that something that you should carry as a burden or something that should keep you stagnant.
Right.
Or it's something that you should be trying to go back and try to do again. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say if it didn't work out the first time, it ain't gonna work out the second time. But I'm just saying it's one of those things to where whatever you're watering is gonna grow, baby. So you got to take some look back at what led up to this.
Right.
What got me here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that I think that people can grieve the life that they never had, because I sometimes find myself like, man, if I had 2 kids by now, I would be this, that. And here recently, within the last couple of months, because it has been like a thing with me getting pregnant or whatever.
Mhm.
I kind of been like, I had read this. I've been praying about it, and I had read this scripture about like sometimes we want things that God didn't ordain for our lives.
Yeah.
Just because of what society will deem if you don't have those things. Like if you don't have more than one kid, like you didn't give your husband, you didn't continue your legacy, all these things that we kind of hear. And I had told myself, like, I'm trying so hard for something that, have I really talked to God like this? Is this what you have for me in my life? And if you do, is it one? Am I gonna be one of those people that just happen to have an age gap kids or whatever, and just being okay with that, and maybe not even having no more kids, and just being like, oh, I'm one of those people that just gonna have one kid, and like being okay with it. Or I might be one of those people that actually, and I thought about this too, because I'm like, you think you are embarrassed sometimes about the way you have to go about doing things. Like, say for instance, people that adopt, people that have IVF. And like, I thought about it like, that might be my story. Like, right. I've always thought that I was the one for my family to do different things. And then I'm like, why would it stop here?
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it gave me a different perspective of like, stop just thinking it gotta go the way it always.
It gotta be linear. It gotta be like, yeah.
Right.
But it's funny how societal pressures will impact people differently, because I've never heard she only got one kid, or she ain't giving her man, what he deserved in the marriage thing. Like, I've never heard those kind of sayings. Right. But the whole, like, I'm over here in this bubble with no kids, and I'm thinking, like, people always, it's a time clock. If she ain't had no kid by 30, or, kids if you have a baby after 30, they might come out with special needs, or this, or that, and the third. Like, I'm hearing all this, but I've never, so it's crazy how in a bubble we be sometimes about what we want and need out of life. Like, I would have never thought that people that you was even thinking like that. Like, you got a child, I know you want another one, but I didn't know that it was like one of those things where society made pressures about it as well. That's interesting to kind of hear.
It is, definitely. Especially when you married. I feel like it's like,
what, they want you to be popping them out just because you married?
That's like the saying, how people always say, like, when you single, they be like, when you gonna get a boyfriend? When you gonna get? Then you get a boyfriend. They be like, when y'all get married? Okay. Then y'all get married. When y'all having a kid? Like, it's never gonna be, okay, they got married. Yeah. And shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always, some people are always expecting, oh, why you ain't gave that man another baby? He want a son. How you know he want a son? He told you that? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always something. So that's kind of where that kind of stem from too.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so, how, I guess we kind of talked about that, but how do you think unmet expectations impact your mental health?
Sometimes it keeps me in a cycle of trying to correct the past instead of just moving forward, accepting whatever mistakes I made, whatever decisions I made. Right. And moving forward and trying to not correct, but recourse, get back on track or whatever. Pivot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's what, because I'm telling you, I'm hard on myself. I'm hard as on my, like, I try not to be like, oh, you should have did X, Y, and Z at PV. Baby, you went to PV 10 plus years ago. Yeah. Let's find something else. Let's find something else. You know what I'm saying? And then that kind of like makes me think, am I hanging on to that disappointment because I haven't done enough in the last 10 years for anything else to have I haven't took too many big risks to rehab. And I'm looking back at that like, that's why you ain't took that many big risks, because you still thinking about that risk you felt then.
And the risk that you felt then, if you would have did something about that or did something different or made a pivot, then you would have been that many more years ahead now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I'm always thinking. Like the moment you start thinking
about, dang, I wish I would have graduated, jump right back in school, or jump right back into something else. Like,
And as long as I've been saying I wish I would have graduated, ain't signed up for, like, I'll go like, get close and look at financial aid and look at schools and this, and then I'm like, well, if it ain't X, Y, and Z, if I can't get it in the, really just trying to make a plan for it instead of doing it.
Just doing it.
Yeah.
Because time continues to go.
And it'll skip. Like, you'll look up and you'll be like, damn, I looked at that website for financial aid 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you
would have been done with 2 degrees.
It would have been done. Yeah. If I'd have just did it.
You could have got yourself 3 years undergrad if you needed it. And you could have got a master's.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like, But procrastination will keep you and like that's why I want these days. I really want like everybody. I don't think nobody has room to say that they can't check in on their mental health and really like think through what you sitting on, what's keeping you from doing the next thing, or what's holding you back. Like,
and I'll add to that. I feel like what I wish I could tell people sometimes when I hear people tell me stories or say certain things about their life, I wish I could tell people to start doing things simultaneously. Stop thinking you got to do one thing and one thing only at a time.
Yeah.
If I go to school, I can't give me a job and do this. If I can't work and I can't do this, and you can.
And you know what's crazy? When me and Tay was at dinner yesterday, I said, think about, people always think, because we were talking about just people feeling like they have to get themselves together in one person at one step at a time. Like, first I do financial, then I fix my religion, and then I fix my health, and then I fix my mental health. Like, no, you don't got to do it like that. Because think about what type of person you would be if your whole overall self was just about your financial.
Yeah.
Then you a shitty communicator, you a shitty friend, you a shitty brother, cousin, sister. Right. You know, like you're shitty in a lot of other places.
Employee,
because yes. And you don't realize that that's why all this other stuff ain't working. Like,
because
you too hyper focused on one thing. That could be a fault.
I feel like that's one of the things that I got used to at a young age, is like doing everything together, like just doing it all at one time. Like, I think about even like when I was in high school, I was in college at the same time.
Yeah,
like I was
my cousin
over
did
the
that.
summer, like, you know, like trying to graduate early. Like, okay, then I got in school. Okay, I'm doing this and this. Even when I got pregnant with Corey, like I wanted to be like, I just wait on school. I was like, hell no, I'm about to finish this. I'm about to go to class big as hell.
And you know what's crazy is I'm not gonna say I didn't focus on academics in school, but in high school, academics was easy for me. Mm-hmm. So I really focused on like sports and stuff like that. For me to think that just because I graduated, I can go to summer school at PV and I'm going to jump right into this academics.
Right.
Like, that was like wild as fuck to think. I barely even have to do homework because I got this shit. Like, I'll do it on the bus at practices.
So you don't think that's the same as college?
School?
Yeah.
No. College, you have to be more intentional about studying and wanting to study.
Really?
And I feel like in school, well, for me at least, it was easy. Like, it was just do it, get it done, you know, go to the next class, do it, get it done.
Right.
I didn't really have much that I had to put a lot of thought into as far as academics.
And I think the opposite. Like, I could say I don't feel like I had to think much about high school either, but I did because I was doing something at the same time.
You was adding something to it. Like,
but when I got to college, I felt like, whew, Lord, thank God, I can chill now.
What?
Yeah, like I felt like college. I
you didn't have no 8 o'clock classes, did you?
I did. I vividly remember saying
like, you wasn't turning up.
I mean, we went to parties. Yeah, we was at the Ben Johnson all the time.
Oh, okay.
It was a little club called it was like a event hall called Ben Johnson. Oh yeah, I was outside, and we used to go to the country club. Oh yeah, I was outside.
And you still made it to class?
Yeah, some days. Some days I still made it to class, but even the days that I didn't make it to class, you know, you was responsible for yourself. If you didn't go to class, you got absent, whatever.
Yeah.
I just was always a person. This is how I do. When I go to a job, I figure out what I can't do. Okay, I'm gonna do everything up until the point so you can't do. So if I knew that you could be absent and I was in control of that, okay, I'm gonna be absent some days. How many I can't get? 7? Okay, I'm gonna have 6. Like, that's how I like maneuver around. Okay, I gotta be here at 11:30. All right, as long as I'm here at 11:30. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just that's why I give myself wiggle room. That's why I think I can do everything in 30 minutes too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's kind of how I always was. And even in college, that's kind of what kind of pushed me through. Like, if I did miss, okay, what I got to do to make sure I'm ready for the next time I go to class. Oh, send me your notes. Send me what y'all did. Or send me what, you know. And I think too,
I wasn't thinking like that.
I knew I couldn't come home. Even though I could have, I felt, and that's why I say I felt like I couldn't come. I felt like it would be a disappointment to my parents if I came home without a degree. So I just knew that, like, yeah, I gotta have fun, but that part I gotta come back.
Yeah.
And more so, probably my grandmother. Like, My grandmother, if she ain't gonna brag, she gonna brag, baby. She gonna brag on her grandkids, her kids. And baby, if my grandma didn't have nothing to tell the people at church Sunday that I graduated.
You got a bunch of graduates, like college graduates in your family though, right?
Yeah, all of my aunties, my mama.
As I sit back, this is absurd. I should have went to the plant. Like, this is absurd. I don't have a lot of people in my family that are college graduates.
Yeah.
So for me to think that, like, and I didn't prepare for this at all, that's like, I think that's where I'm like getting, oh, that's where you fucked up at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't prepare for that. Yes. Yeah. I should have did what I knew.
Right.
I jumped out the porch and said, I want to be a lawyer. I don't know a lawyer.
No, but that's good too, though. That's good too, because like sometimes you do have to be the first in your family
to do something,
especially if that's what you want to do. Because think about it, if you would have been in the plant and you could have been this same person, this same Tia at the plant years later, thinking like, damn, I wish I would have went to least tried, tried to be a lawyer. Because I did always want to do that. So it's good that you can, and it's like it's never too late. Look, Kim Kardashian is a lawyer, right?
Right.
It's never too late.
I know you're smarter than.
But smarter than her. I mean,
that would be a really debate.
Look, I'm about to say that would be a really great accomplishment in your life right now. If you go to law school and finish, like, I mean, that would be
that would be insane.
Yeah,
and still
you'll
would be
really
one of the
proud
first.
Of yourself.
I know, still would be one of the first people in my family to have completed something like this.
Yes. You should think about that.
I've been thinking about going back to school, and I was like, should I stay in the lane of the career field I'm already in, or jump out and do something different?
Yeah.
And I ain't thought about that.
I think you at an age to where you can jump out and do something different, or you can jump out and do something different and do what you're doing right now.
I'm still in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I agree.
What is a healthy, well, I guess we need to move on. Hey, that's how I went by fast. Another question, so a lot of people expected more support in their life at this, like, you know, as an adult, like as children. I think we always went to our cousins' houses, and we know our aunties and our grandmas, you know, kept us, and just the village type of thing. Okay. But nowadays, where did the village really go? Because I can't say that. I ain't gonna lie. I was just gonna
say, girl, you live in the house with a bunch of.
But that's my family. And I think that a village is more than a family, blood family.
Yeah.
I feel like a village, I should be able to call you and say, can you go get Kari today after school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or me and Carrie want to.
We used to do that.
Yeah, like we can you go? Yeah, we did.
We used to do that.
So like, I feel like, so I guess I do have a village, but I think a lot of people, what I will say is at the grand opening of the shop, a lot of the feedback that I got was that you so blessed. Even one of my friends, Raven, she stood up and she was just like, I'm just amazed at how much support you have here and how much family you have here.
Yeah.
And multiple people told me that after the grand opening, and I was very shocked. And I'm thinking like, girl, you got a mama and a daddy, and you were like,
no, like, not a lot of people have that. And I tell you that all the time. I be like, girl, your family is like, this is it. Like, invite me over every time, because like. And I just text you like, yeah, I might need to borrow your family for my birthday. Because like, seriously, like a lot of people don't got that. And then moving away from like what people were like your hometown, what you're used to, that's a big strain on people too. But for me, like I wouldn't have been able to grow in that town. So I had to move. Like, and I knew that was gonna come. That was gonna be one of the sacrifices, like, because my family, they commune down there. You know, they get together, they barbecue. Everybody be at my mama's house. People pull up. It's community. You know, even people that we call our cousins that ain't really our cousins. You know, they might just be my mama friend. Like they there. Like so, it's community out there. It's just like. Is it the one you used to? Do you have to make a new community?
Right.
And that's kind of like what I was talking to Tay about yesterday. I was like, man, it's hard out there. Like in your 30s trying to make a new community. Like,
yeah, it is.
When you up in age, you have to have intentional friendships, and you don't want people around you that's full of shit. And, you know, like, especially knowing this much about mental health and all that stuff, like, you don't just want anybody in your community and anybody in your village.
Yeah, that's true. I think that to that point, I think that I think we're doing a good job at cultivating our own communities at 30. I just think about the friendships that I've made over the past few years of just even having this podcast.
Right.
I actually have a group of friends. Like, I have people that I can, like, be in a group chat about. I always thought that I said that on the friendship episode. I don't even have a group chat, like, of friends, because none of my friends are together.
Like a group of friends.
Like, either I met you in middle school, elementary, or something, and we all just all over the place. But what do you think that a village provided before that modern day that we're missing?
A safe space. I see people say, somebody said the other day, we don't have a village no more. That's why everybody got a podcast.
Oh,
I said, bitch, what you trying to say? But I feel like
they got a point there, because I didn't get a village until I got a podcast.
You know what I mean? And then they went on to say, like, yeah, and there's no more barbershop, beauty salon, like
no third space.
Yes, yeah, outside of your family, like you gotta have a third space. You have to have people that care about you, or people that you could just talk to.
Yeah, I agree. I think I sent you the video, but it was a conversation about there is no third space anymore, because, and this is it's contributing to why the kids act like they act, and they don't have the skills that they're supposed to have.
The individual,
like even like just being at church, like even if church was your third space, at church you had to sit quietly for an extended period of time. Yeah. Your attention span, your ability to not be bored after 2 minutes had to grow, because you had to be at church. Your ability to speak in front of a crowd, because you had to do an Easter speech every Easter. Like, it's certain skills that you learn in third spaces. You learn how to be quiet for a long time. You learn how to, have a conversation, because it wasn't any phones then where everybody was just, you had to be amongst people. So I feel like the third space being kind of obsolete, like it makes it hard for us to create community, because we feel like our phones are our community.
And you know what else? The fact that we're learning so much of the dangers in life from this phone. Like,
we're scared now.
We're scared.
Yeah, fear.
Nobody want to let nobody in. Nobody think you think everybody will rob or steal, and somebody gonna do something to your child. Somebody gonna do something to you. Right. Like, you don't even want to let people in.
Yeah.
And that's sad to say. Like when you see people saying stuff like, "Oh, how men say, oh, I can't even hold the door or speak to a bitch, because she don't think." She might grab her purse tight, or she might be clutching a gun, like thinking she gotta, she gotta defend herself.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad, bro.
That's really sad. Even like, I'll take that back. My mama didn't let me go to no sleepover anyway. It's back then, so like, but now
all the sleepovers.
See, my mama didn't let me go to people's house really, and when the one time I did. I hope this girl don't watch our show. But the one time I did, I begged my mom. I was like, "Mama, everybody gonna be there." Da-da-da-da. Girl, she let me go. Girl, this girl stayed at the end of a cul-de-sac in this hood ass neighborhood. Girl, roaches. The water was off when we got over there, so we had to do it. We couldn't go to the restroom, or like, girl, roaches. The couch smelled like piss. Girl, I called my mama in the middle of the night, and I was like, "Mama, can you come get me?" She said, "Nope. Have fun."
For real.
I ain't asked to go nowhere else.
You got to learn some lessons. But I don't want us to be scared to...
I'm not letting my baby go to nobody's house. Y'all ain't gonna play in that cat. Nope. Sorry.
See? That's what we talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
That's where I draw the line. My baby ain't going to no sleepovers.
Damn.
She went to one. And I had a hard time, only because I was really close with the mother, and she was a police officer, and she made her husband and her son leave, and she did all of the things.
Okay.
And Corey and Paige were so close, but I don't trust it. Like, I don't trust it.
I'm with you though.
I don't trust it because I didn't realize how many people were molested or raped until I got grown. I'm like, it made me start thinking like, damn, did somebody touch me? Like, everybody I meet, they be like, girl, my uncle.
Girl, when I seen that post on Facebook, everybody, like, and I didn't know what the context was, it just was like, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too at 7. Yeah, me too at 8. I was like, what the fuck?
That's a thing.
Like, oh, you ain't got to tell me.
I'm like, I literally started thinking like, maybe I need to go to therapy, like, to relive something so I can go back. Cause like, did I? Cause I don't remember it, but like, I don't think I did, but the way it's such a norm, you would think like, damn.
Yeah, I can see your concern, because I was just watching a show not too long ago, and the girl was saying, this mom was saying how her daughter said she was going to her friend house. Whole time she was dating a friend brother. Yeah. So she was just going over there to...
And that's the thing. My fear so much is not adults. It's really kids.
Yeah. The other little kids around. Yeah. But the fact that you said that lady her son and her husband left, that's beautiful. We only need women in the house, especially if it's other little women in
right,
here.
Exactly.
That ain't used to this house. That ain't, people ain't got no ties to.
Right.
Because some people got little boundaries where they be like, oh, I ain't gonna do it to nobody in my family, but another little girl could probably, that's
just weird.
Yeah. Just weird.
Yeah. That's why she can't
draw the
go.
line with everybody, baby.
Right. A lot of people are praised for surviving what they should have been supported through. So we always talk about like the independent woman, like, oh, you a strong girl, you did that, did that. But it's like, no, you should have been here.
Yeah.
You should have did this, you should have did that. And I know it's a part of like not having an expectation of people or having an expectation that people do certain things for you. But when does strength become emotional suppression?
I feel like a lot of times for Black people as a whole, we are looked at to be the strong ones. We always think we gotta be. That's in our mind. Like we think we have to be the strong ones. But a lot of time we are just suppressing what we should have been talking about, what we should have told somebody, what we should have asked for. Yeah. Like, my mama would say like, oh, why? Anytime I tell her about something like in my childhood, she'll be like, oh, why you didn't tell me that? Well, I don't think you understand that how you was in that. Like, think about what you was doing around that time. You were at work overtime. When you come home, you going the fuck off and you going to sleep.
Right.
You mad about work. You mad you had to work all them hours. You mad this house ain't look how you wanted to look when you got home.
Right.
Like, there was no room for me to say
never understood
vulnerable stuff.
I never understood the frustration you feel when somebody didn't take the chicken out until I became an adult and I left a job and the chicken went out.
Hold on. You here? Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm outside.
Okay, I'm about to tell them to come open the door.
Where am I going though? Like what door?
It's a side door. It should have been right across from the parking lot. Okay. Corey, can you go open the door? We finna wrap this up.
Yeah. So I
and I understand her frustration now.
Yeah,
I do. But at that time, as an adult, for me, and to think back to it, I guess just because it happened to me, for me to hope and think that a child would understand that is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy to think. So why are you this mad?
Yeah. I just got here.
You know what I mean? I'm
5
only
years
8.
ago.
Yeah. I'm only 8.
Yeah.
I don't even know. This house don't look that bad to me. Shit. Like, the hell?
It looked pretty good.
Right.
Okay, last thing. What part of your life are you grieving and where do you need more support than you have been willing to admit?
I think I'm still grieving what I should have did right in college, like the career, like I've been talking about this whole time. And I think, I don't really know what kind of support I could be asking for right now. But I think if we just had like a space where people talked more openly about the ups and downs of what they went through, blase,
right,
we would be, a little more reluctant to be vulnerable.
Okay.
What about you?
What part am I grieving? The fact that I don't have the amount of kids that I thought I would have by now. What type of support would I need? I would just need the support from people that ask me, when you gonna have another baby? Stop asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already hard enough to deal with that on your own and then to not have an answer for yourself. So for you to ask that and have to rethink about how you don't have an answer for you or yourself is very hard.
Girl, I've been trying to drive that home to my grandma all the time, but she forgetting shit. So I think she keep on forgetting it. I told her stop asking me that.
Right. Yeah.
She's steady asking.
So that's what I would say. Like, I had somebody ask me one time right after I was probably like a month outside of having the last miscarriage I had. And they was like, girl, you ain't had no baby yet. When you gonna have a baby? You need to get that man a baby. Ooh. And they just went forth. Like, they just kept going. When you gonna have a baby? You ain't had no baby yet. And your husband looking for a baby. And I was like, I had a miscarriage about 3 weeks ago.
I bet that'll shut you up.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah. And so I think that, we need to stop with always asking somebody to do something more than you already asked them the last time. You got married. That wasn't enough. You had one kid. That wasn't enough. So,
or really do more congratulating instead of looking for the next thing. Like,
how are you? How have you been? Yeah. How's your mental? Yeah. How are you dealing with life? 100%. Yeah. It's a lot. I think we need to, like you said one time, we need to find the words, the language. Yeah. True. So that has been a great episode, guys.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.